Hey, what's up YouTube people? This is Jake, Viper 15 Alpha 41. Been a few weeks since I put anything up. Actually been maybe like 2 months. Had a few things going on, so let's take a minute, look at the tanks, and I'll show you what I've been working on. So one of the first things I want to talk about is this new tank I've set up. This is a 55-gallon African cichlid tank. These are all Mbunas. Never been much of an African guy. I'm still not. But I came into this possession of these fish under some different circumstances. Lady I work with stopped me one day and she said, "Hey, Jake, I hear you're into fish." And I'm like, "Yeah." And she said, "Well, my husband has a fish tank at the house that has a bunch of fish in it, and we want to get rid of the fish and use the tank to house a lizard." Now, you know, I don't know about you guys, but why you'd trade these beautiful fish for a stinking old lizard is beyond me. But whatever, everybody's got their own idea what's cool. So I went to the lady's house, and when I got there, what I found was it was a 60-gallon that was filthy. And I don't understand how those fish survived in that tank. It was in such terrible shape. The water was this dark blue-green, and it was so bad. Just from the outside looking in, you couldn't tell what kind of fish were in there. You couldn't see them. And it was hard to even... I had no idea what I was getting into. So we drained all the water out, and I got a big net and just started scooping fish out. And not all of them came out of that tank, but most of these did. Like this big guy here. That fish, the big one in the center, he is a solid 4.5, maybe 5 inches. Nice looking fish. And then all these guys, the yellow ones with the black stripes, they came from that tank. And, you know, they're all in pretty good shape. One fish, if I can find her, I say her, I don't know if it's him or her, this guy right here in front. This one, now she's shy. When I brought her home, did not have a tail. Just had a little nub and no fin. Now, she's been set up in my house about 3 weeks, and what do we got there? Got a little bit of a tail grown back. So that makes me think, even though I don't know anything about these Africans, that I'm doing something right if they're healing like that. So, now another funny story is I moderate a Facebook group. It's Fish Keepers, the New River, Fish Keeping Enthusiasts of the New River Valley. I'm in Southwest Virginia, and one of my members on there, we were chatting back and forth through the page, and turns out that the guy lives 2 houses away from me. He was a stranger to me, but I met him on this page. So I was, you know, talking about making a cool connection. I went down to his house a couple evenings ago and bought some Mbunas from him. And he's serious into breeding these African cichlids. I think just about everything he had was Mbunas, but he had some peacocks and some haps and some cool fish. He's a cool guy. But I got several from him, and he told me all the names of them, and of course I've promptly forgotten. They didn't really have a lot of common names. But the fish are beautiful. It's a nice looking tank. Lots of activity. Lots of pops of color. I really enjoy it. I'm gonna have to go up, take a few minutes and learn about these kind of fish. 55-gallon crushed coral substrate. Got some big chunks of coral decoration. And true story, these smaller piece of corals, I collected those when I was down in Key West a year or so ago. So that's, you know, it's kind of fun. Filtering it with 2 aqua clear 110s. Maybe, you know, probably a little more filtration than they need, but can you really over filter a tank? I don't think so. So another thing that's happening for me is, if you guys watch my videos, you know I'm really into the South American cichlids. That's what I like. And I got this guy, I say guy, it's really a female, came to me. It's another adoption, like I'm the freaking Humane Society of Fish. Another co-worker, not related to the first one, stopped me and said, "Hey, I hear you're into fish." I'm like, "Yeah. Husband's got a big tank, got a big orange fish in it. I don't know what it is, and we want to get rid of it." And I was like, "Well, you know, I didn't know if it's a goldfish or what." So she went home, took a picture of it, texted it to me, and I thought, that looks like a red devil. But I wasn't certain by the picture, it was a little vague. So she brought it to work before he'd really committed to me taking it in a bucket. I took my lunch break and brought this guy home and threw him in the tank, and he's doing really well. That fish is a solid, probably pushing 8 inches long. The body is maybe 4 inches tall, looking pretty good. Came from PetSmart, so it's probably a hybrid of some kind, but it's still a pretty cool looking fish. All the rest of my Southies are doing pretty good. Of course, I got like 400 convicts. Jack Dempsey's are looking good. Everybody's real healthy and in good shape. One of my other tanks that I usually spend a lot of time talking about, showing off, is my planted 120. And the truth is, I don't really want to show it to anybody right now because it is in rough shape. I've had a pretty massive outbreak of angel hair, algae. Been treating it. I think I've gotten to the source of the problem, but and the getting rid of the algae, a lot of it I just took out by hand. But it's brought to my attention that I'm kind of ready to go in a different direction with that big planted tank. So I'm going to make a lot of changes. It's so densely planted that I almost can't appreciate what I have in there. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Madagascar lace out. I got a huge lace plant in there. I'm going to move it to another planted tank. Got some tiger lotus I'm going to move, and I got some Anubis that I'm going to move. All my Anubis are they're attached to some smaller piece of driftwood, so I can move them to whatever tank. I'm going to go in a different direction with the big 120, and I'll cover that as I go. I'm going to leave some plants in there, but I think I'm going to pull everything that's root bound to the substrate. If it doesn't stick to a piece of rock or driftwood, it's coming out. And so I'll let you guys, keep you informed on how that goes. I've already started moving the rainbows out of it. Everybody's doing pretty good there. I want to take a second and go in a different direction. I'm going to do something I've never done in one of my videos, and I'm going to throw a shout out to a YouTuber. There's a handful of guys that I always watch their videos. They're always like super informative and down to earth and practical for, you know, regular hobbyists like myself. And he's also interacts quite a bit. And that's JW Heiser 1302, Jeff Heiser. If you're not familiar with this channel, you're missing out. Jeff's a super nice fella. He's, you know, even though I don't know him, we've interacted on several occasions. He's responded to several of my questions that I've posted on the Facebook page, and he's also responded on, you know, commented on some of my videos, and he's just a cool guy. So I just want to throw that out there and tell everybody, if you're not watching his videos, you're definitely missing out. That's JW Heiser 1302. I'll put a link down in the description. I hope to maybe start putting some more videos up, get a little more consistent with it. I know I've been slacking lately, but the fact is there's just not a lot going on, and if I'm not working on the fish tanks, if I'm not making some kind of progress, I'm not going to shoot videos and just talk about them. You know, thank you guys for watching, and we'll talk to you next time. Everybody, take care.